Now, before we jump in and start processing the voice, it's important to set the key and scale of the vocal we're working with. And this is important for two reasons. One, for pitch correction, but also some of the modules like backer and voices that generate harmony parts rely on the information here to determine what notes to generate. So the pitch module is available as a kind of mini module here in the mothership, and we set the key and scale here, and then there's a little panel that opens up for the pitch correction that we can turn on or off. And we also have the dedicated component plugin here, just as we do for auto level. So I'm going to work with it here, and I'll show you where things are. They're all the same controls in both, just laid out a little bit differently. So the idea with pitch correction is that it's used to fix out-of-tune vocal performances by automatically adjusting the incoming notes to conform to the pitches that we've specified with the key and scale. So there's a really intelligent and accurate detect system where it'll listen to your vocal and detect and suggest keys and relative keys. So I'm going to have it do that. I was waiting for the audio.
This feeling is holding
It's listening.
me tight.
And there it keeps on listening and suggesting alternates. Now, it is in the key of E major, but these are closely related, C sharp minor. It could be in that. Maybe at this moment it didn't detect the major third, so it's suggesting that. But I'm going to click there and check mark, and it's successfully established a key. Now, if it doesn't, you can always go in there and choose your own key from there. And you can use custom. So let's say, for example, I like this vocal and it's all in tune, except every time the singer hits maybe the D sharp. I just want it to correct those notes and leave everything else alone. So I can go in and customize the scale, in this case E, custom, and maybe I'll click there. And now it's going to leave all those alone, but only correct the ones that I've selected. So it can be really a subtle tool if you want like that. But I'm going to go back to just regular E major and have it correct all the notes that conform to there. Now, we have to determine the register also, and this determines how the pitch and voices module analyze and detect pitch data from the input signal. So I'm just going to set it manually here because I do want it set in the mothership because I will be using backer and voices for other demonstrations and other videos. So there and E major, and we're fine. So again, the register can be set independently there, and we have the correction that we turn on and off here. And the idea is that the speed controls how fast the detection is. And the more to the left it is, the more we're going to get that kind of robotic quantized pitch type of sound. And the further we go to the right, the slower the correction speed will be and the smoother it'll be. And then with strength, we have higher values to eliminate or reduce the natural vibrato in the processed vocal. And as we dial this down, it'll retain the vibrato and it'll allow for a bit more natural results with a bit less of the actual pitch correction happening.
This feeling is holding.
Now here's with the mix slider, we can really hear what it's doing. So we're hearing the unprocessed vocal and the processed vocal.
And you could tell me
I'll dial it up.
this feeling is killing me inside.
And then we'll hear more detuning.
And I can get it words than light.
And to get the robotic
How
effect,
do you dare to be bad, baby? Words
you can get just a little bit of it.
How do, baby? 'Cause when I feel you closer, closer.
So speed and strength will get you where you want.
Beating harder, stronger. 'Cause when I feel you closer, closer.
So something like that
My heart is beating.
will work nicely.
My heart is beating. This feeling is holding.
So in that hold, really hear the natural vibrato.
This feeling is holding.
And there it's a little bit more mitigated by the pitch correction. Now, we also have formant shifting, and the idea is by default, Nectar preserves the vocal formants from the incoming audio as they were recorded, but we can scale them up or down, and as we do this, we turn it on or off there, we can change the timbre. I'm just going to push this all up, and we'll talk about this in a moment, but we can change the timbre of it, so I can get a kind of higher pitch sound. Let me tune this up or correct this a bit more naturally.
This feeling is holding.
So a bit chipmunky. Or we can lower it.
And you could tell me this
And again with the mix slider, it can be interesting.
Inside. and I can get it. What?
Now, with the scale slider, it determines the amount of scaling applied to the formants when we're shifting the pitch. So the scale slider will adjust the formants in the direction of the pitch shift. So as we increase it, it'll shift the formants in the direction that we're shifting the pitch. So let's say I'm going to just put the mix slider up.
This feeling is holding. This feeling is holding.
But now let's hear this when we transpose the pitch. Maybe I'll go down an octave.
This feeling is holding. This feeling is holding.
So very big difference.
This feeling is holding.
Let's snap this up. Option click.
This
Feeling is holding.
This feeling is holding.
So again, great timbral variation.
Tight.
And with mix, it could be interesting.
And you could tell me this feeling is killing.
It's actually quite interesting. I think I like that.
Inside.
Now in the pop-out panel in the mothership, we get all of these controls just laid out a bit differently. We'll turn correction on. There's the strength control, and there's the speed control, and there's the transposition control. Formants can be turned on or off there, and we set the shift amount there. And that'll correspond to that knob, and then the scale, which corresponds to this. We'll continue with more in the next video.